Hey, hi guys, this is Vidhu. Why DIY? I've been trekking in the Himalayas with Indiahikes in groups. Did a bunch of treks with them. I'm always constantly looking at challenging myself, doing things which could improve my skill, uh, find parts of myself which I don't even know. So DIY was something up a notch for me. So yeah, this is why I chose to do it DIY as a challenge to myself. Doing it with a group is little different because I wouldn't say it's not challenging. It is challenging. You manage the code, you manage yourself, you manage the acclimatization, the temperature, and everything. And you are also disciplined because of the leader. But in DIY, you have more freedom. In DIY, with the freedom comes the bigger challenge of carrying your entire load on your back, right? You have to be well prepared. You have to be prepared more than you are in a normal trek because you have to carry your entire load, especially if you're going solo like me. And then you have to negotiate trails. You have to have an assessment, of yourself. Get a good assessment of your GPX file. Also, a challenge of pitching your camp. Where to pitch your camp? How do you assess that? So that is another challenge. Okay, and then cooking your own food. That is another fun part. Again, challenging when you're tired. You had a long day, long distance you've covered with the load. Of course, it's quite a big of challenge. It was my first DIY trek. I never trekked with such a heavy load on my back. That is one. Even though I have trekked for longer distances, but with the load, this has become a more difficult sort of a trek. Harsh weather, it's raining out there, still have to camp, have to eat, have to sleep on time, get up on time, and go to your next camp. So that was the added challenge. Of course, along with the weather, along with the terrain, you have to have a timeline. Your freedom does not mean that you do things leisurely. It's more like you have to complete the entire itinerary what you have prepared for yourself. Preparation is a must. It has to be beyond how you used to prepare for a regular trek, right? Even for difficult treks, for example, Barwan Valley, for example, Koisala, okay, Kedarta. Difficult treks do require a certain amount of fitness, baseline being a 30-minute 5K, for example. What I did was going beyond that, did 10Ks, 15Ks of runs. Okay, strength training is a staple, right? You have to have strong bones, strong tendons to hold yourself on trails with that load, right? You also have to have an assessment of how your body is going to take it with that load. For example, I used to go on long walks with a heavy load, around 25-30 kilos on my back, and then used to walk in the city that I live in. So that actually made my body understand how to hold that load and walk along with it. So that helped a lot. Indiahikes kit was more than enough, right? So it had the burner, the canisters, along with it had the entire stack of food, different varieties of food. It had your staple of dal rice to your sweet of rice kheer as well, to your breakfast options like upma, poha. There were options like drinks like thukpa for the evening, manchao soup for the evening. So plenty of it. But for a solo trekker, for a solo DIY trekker, you might have to optimize a bit on that particular kit because you have to carry that entire load. You're not sharing it with anyone. So you might want to tone it down a little. Okay, for the future trekkers, plain and simple, if you want the freedom of DIY, earn it. How do you earn it? Go on normal treks with Indiahikes. Understand the challenges, gradually build it up from a beginner level trek to a advanced level trek. Understand how you share in the wild, in the harsh terrains, and then take up the challenge of DIY and earn your freedom.